a worm. You know? You've allowed a worm. You can get into the wrong relationship and it can be a worm. It can be a worm because it gets on the inside of you, and where you were once a cool person, now you flipping and tripping. Now things about you is not the same anymore. You once were you were good at life. It wasn't that life was so perfect about you, but you messed around and connected with a worm, and now you frustrated, you aggravated. More about your life comes from a stress point than it does from a peaceful point. Why? Because you allowed a worm to get in. And that worm searched to see what part of that skin or that anatomy was not strong. And it entered in at that point. That was the place when the worms begin to search for fruit that is hanging on trees. What they look for is ones that is bruised. What you're going to see is the most worms attack the fruit that is on the. Because when it hit the ground, it bruised it. Oh, y'all better hear God. You better hear God today. When it hit the ground, it got bruised. So now here comes the worm. So what has happened in your life that caused a bruise and then got you a worm? So now your emotions all messed up. Now your whole life, everything is off kilter now because of this worm that's done come in. But I'm trying to tell y'all today, listen, he got up so you could get up. There's still value to you on the ground. Oh, God, help me today. There's still value to you even though you're on the ground. There are some people like myself that are short, that can't reach them high limbs, and it's easier for me to pick up off the ground. And especially if someone comes by and you just fell. You just fell. You just fell. But then you got to understand there are some people that will come by and shake the tree, just so it can hit the ground to be picked up immediately. It's not in an attitude of causing a bruise, but it is so that it is reachable. It makes it more reachable. In order to get, it's more attainable in order to get if it hits the ground. The only thing about that is this right here. You can literally shake sometime too soon. So if it gets shook too soon and causes them to hit the ground, then that means that they can be picked prematurely. So it's so many different aspects that have to be watched, that have to be determined of what's going on, and you have to see the place of where you are in life. Because the anatomy, even from the very beginning, the Lord chose to use fruit. Because he knew life was going to produce. He chose to use fruit. So you have to pay attention to how things go about with fruit. What is going on? Is it time for me to be picked? Let me go in there for a second. Is it time for me to be picked? See, you got to know whether you are ripe or not. I told y'all, this is maturity. You got to know whether you are ripe or not. If you ain't over what happened, you ain't ripe. You ain't ready. You're not ripe yet. I don't care that somebody is standing there telling me, I'm going to pick you. I'm going to, ooh, you look good. That look good. Ooh, that's right. I got my eye on that one right there. Keep your eye on me, baby, because I still got about 10 more weeks before I'm ready to be harvested. Keep your eye on me. See, what that going to show me is one or two things. Either you are really sincerely interested, or either you are wanting to try to do something to cause some type of harm to me again. You got to understand, everything that shows up and everybody that shows up ain't on assignment for good now. You got to determine that about whoever shows up in your life. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what kind of conversation they got. You got to determine whether they are there for the right reasons or not. Don't y'all understand that people can say things that they don't mean? Y'all don't know that? That there could be a hidden agenda behind what's being said? So you got to know. And how you know is the Bible says, let patience have her perfect work. That's how you know. That's one of the signs. It'll have the patience connected to it, to let it have its perfect work. See, if there is anything, there's an old saying that has been around for years. I know I heard it as a little girl. Anything worth having, that's what they say. It's worth waiting for. So basically what's being said is I need to mature. I need to develop. There are certain aspects about me that is not really ready. I need to mature. I first of all got to understand this concept here. He got up so I could get up. If I don't have that concept, then whatever happens to me in life is going to get the best of me. You can play with it all you want to, but I'm telling y'all, if you do not catch that concept in life, things that happen will get the best of you. What gives you the strength to get up and move on is the fact that you realize that so that means he overcame. So that means he overcame so I can overcome. That's the source that I'm able to pull from that gives me the power to go on. Anytime you are wanting to go on, needing to go on, there has to be a power source that you pull from. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? There has to be a power source that you pull from. Let me show you examples that people will make their power sources. Some folk will become alcoholics because what did they make alcohol? Some folk will get on drugs. What were they making drugs there? Power source. Some folk will get into another relationship with somebody because what they're making them is their power source. So anytime something has taken a fall, there has to be a power source connected to it in order for it to get. I don't think they hear you today, God. There has to be a power source connected to it in order to get it up. Did y'all see within the last week or so? I don't know what that is. I'll call Carrie them this week to see about that. Did y'all see the ship that was stuck? Yeah. They had to get loose. That does all that porting down the canals. I forgot the name of that big old ship. That bad boy was stuck. And because of it being stuck, it does a lot of transporting of goods, a lot of stuff that the United States buy and all. And so that is a trade canal. All they do is trade on that canal, and they couldn't get it out. And because they couldn't get it out, it was going to put like some serious hits on the economy. I mean, seriously. They was even talking about the price of gas going. Because if we cannot get this ship, we got to get this ship unstuck. And they kept, they worked, man. They worked 24/7. They had crews out there to get this ship unstuck. It needed to move. They needed it to move. Everything has to have a power source connected to it in order for it to flow. Anytime something takes a fall, there has to be some type of source that gives it strength to get back up. Somewhere it has to find the power to get back up. You ever seen where somebody's taking a fall and someone will be standing over them saying, come on, get up, Get up, come on, you can do it. You can do it. They are becoming their power source. Saying that is the power that they're releasing into them, an attempt to release power into them for them to get back up, for them to get up and to move. What I'm saying to you today, because of what I had to realize in my life is I had to connect myself to the right power source. Because a lot of stuff that I was using to get up wasn't really getting me up. It wasn't really getting me up. It was literally pulling me just temporarily through some stuff. And an illusion that I got up. But I didn't really get up. See, there can be an illusion that you done got up, but you ain't really up. An illusion that a person has got up is when they go through the motions of looking like they've gotten up, but you find out later they wasn't up. You find out they wasn't up. I'm talking to a young man yesterday, and he began to talk to me about his baby mama. You know, that's what they call each other now, baby daddy, baby mama. That's what they call each other. And they just, boy, these young folks, man, I'm glad I'm older. You know, but the baby mama, baby, that he was talking about his baby mama. And so he said to me, he said, I hate her. This is what he said. He said, I hate her. And immediately when he said, I hate her, two things came out my mouth. I said, oh, baby, don't hate nobody now. You know what I'm saying? Hate is not good. That's not good. It's okay to not like somebody or not like an action that somebody did. But please, don't allow yourself to hate anybody. I said, but I'll say this to you. The second thing that came out my mouth was this right here. I said, what did she do to hurt you? What did she do? He said, oh, Miss Delphine, man. Miss Delphine is like, Miss Delphine, man. Miss Delphine, I'm just going to go and talk to you. Oh, I just feel like I need to talk to you anyway, Miss Delphine, man. I'll be watching you, man. I'm going to tell you. He started talking. I said, what did she do? Because, see, generally hate comes from love. It comes from love. It means you did something that caused me a great disappointment. And because of that disappointment, I'm calling it hate. But it's really you broke my heart. It's really what it is. So when you hear people saying, well, I hate them, you need to know that there was a deep love there. There was a deep love there. And it literally came to hate. You cannot hate something that you just can't not just hate something. You ain't ever experienced it, so how can you just hate it? Okay, so I have, for a long time, I had not ever eaten cauliflower. But I couldn't say to you that I hated cauliflower. Why? Because I ain't ever had cauliflower. So I couldn't use the word hate. But now that I have eaten cauliflower, if I say to you I hate cauliflower, it is because I had an experience with cauliflower or an encounter with cauliflower. But now, for me to use the word hate with cauliflower would literally mean that I went beyond liking cauliflower. I went beyond liking it. And I had given myself to a love of cauliflower. And cauliflower did something for me to shift out of that place of loving it to now hating it. I said, what'd she do? He broke it down. I said, bingo. Hey, I said, oh, baby, I already know what time it is. When you catch it with that hate stuff, it's generally because there was a deep love there. And now I'm disappointed. Or you broke my heart. A lot of times it comes from an image thing of saying you made me look like a fool. That's generally where their hate comes from. Because they made me look like a fool. Because what you do is take on the vision of everybody else. You think that people are saying you look like a fool. So now you've taken on their vision. And because you've taken on their vision, you no longer have your own vision. So now you're